All right, let's get right into it. You know how it is. You're scrolling, you're connecting with these creators who honestly feel like your friends. But behind that seemingly perfect, totally authentic life, there's a massive, multi-billion-dollar industry. So today, we are going to pull back the curtain on influencer marketing and really try to understand the hidden architecture of authenticity.
And that brings us to the big question, right? That influencer you really trust, what are they actually selling you? Is it just a protein powder, a new skincare routine, or is it something much bigger? Like a lifestyle, a feeling, or even a version of themselves? That's the tension we're going to unpack. Where does that genuine connection end and the calculated sales pitch begin?
And it all really starts with this idea of the authenticity illusion. This right here, this is the absolute bedrock of the entire influencer economy. I mean, here's the crazy part. We're drawn in because it all feels so real, right? The vulnerability, the little shared moments, those behind-the-scenes peeks into their life. But what researchers are finding is that these very emotional connections, the things that make us feel close to them, are often strategically engineered. It's basically a performance of sincerity, and wow, is it effective.
So how in the world do you even begin to take apart a performance like that? Well, that brings us to our main character, a researcher named Qinran Li. And her journey is pretty unique, giving her the perfect toolkit to become a critic of this exact system.
So just look at her path, because it is not what you might expect. Qinran Li actually started out studying literature, learning how to break down stories and analyze narratives. And that skill, it became so important when an internship dropped her right into a marketing agency. It was there that she saw firsthand how authenticity was being literally manufactured. That experience changed everything and set her on a whole new path, first to Boston, then to Tennessee, to get the research skills she needed to investigate what she'd already seen with her own eyes.
And this was the light bulb moment. For her, it wasn't just some academic puzzle. It was personal. See, she used to be a fan herself, so she immediately saw the manipulation for what it was. She watched that genuine bond between a creator and their followers get packaged up and sold off as just another marketing tool. That realization, it basically defined her entire career from that point on.
So this is the big, thorny question that really drove her work. How do you protect people when the game is this sophisticated, especially when it's not always some evil plan? Sometimes the influencers themselves get so caught up in it, the line between their life and their job just completely blurs. They become part of the system without even fully realizing it. So how do you regulate something that subtle?
Now, to get an answer, Leah decided to focus her research on a really potent corner of the internet, the world of fitness influencers. This is a place where, let's be honest, inspiration can cross the line into something way more dangerous and fast.
You see, the whole fitness and wellness space online kind of operates in what you could call a regulatory gray area. It's basically the Wild West. There are no clear-cut rules separating, say, medical advice from just personal inspiration. And that ambiguity creates this massive loophole where potentially harmful ideas about bodies, diets, and health can just spread like wildfire with almost zero oversight.
And on the surface, Fitspiration sounds great. I mean, it's meant to motivate you, to build a community, to give you support, but Li's research really pulls back the curtain on the dark side. This kind of content so often pushes totally unrealistic body standards, it can encourage some really harmful behaviors, and it's just filled with misleading health claims that have no basis in science. The promise and the problem are literally in the very same post.
So if the regulations aren't really there to protect us, what's the answer? Well, Lee's research suggests that the power actually has to shift to us, to the audience. It's on us to build up our own kind of digital self-defense.
And the heart of that defense is this skill she calls consumer literacy. And this is where her old literature background comes full circle. It's basically about taking that same critical eye you'd use on a novel and applying it to a sponsored Instagram post. It's learning to read between the lines, see the persuasive tricks, and understand what the real goal of the message is.
Okay, so how do you actually do this? It's a pretty simple three-step process. First step, recognize. Just take a second to acknowledge that even if a post feels super personal, it's still a form of advertising. Second, question. Actively ask yourself, what is this message really promising me? And is that promise even realistic? And third, mitigate. Make a conscious effort to separate the sales pitch from the emotional connection you feel. That right there, that's how you stay in control.
But it gets even trickier because consumer literacy isn't just about the photo or the video you're seeing. The design of the actual app you're on is actively shaping how you receive that message before you even have a chance to think about it.
Just think about the difference for a second. On Instagram, you've got these polished, perfect, static images. That tends to put our brains into a more abstract mode. We start thinking about the why, the lifestyle, the dream, the big idea. Now switch over to TikTok. It's all about spontaneous, dynamic, action-packed videos. That shifts our brains into a much more concrete way of thinking. We're focused on the how to do that dance, how to make that recipe. The same influencer could post the same message on both, but the platform itself changes the psychological impact on you.
So, what does this all mean? Where do we go from here? Well, understanding all these hidden mechanics isn't just some interesting academic exercise. It has really powerful, real-world consequences for every single one of us.
This kind of research goes directly from the university into the real world. In the classroom, people like Lynn are training the next wave of advertisers to be more ethical, more thoughtful. Her findings can help lawmakers figure out how to finally bring some rules to those gray areas. And, most importantly, it gives you, right now, the tools you need to navigate this whole world a lot more safely.
So, look, if you only remember 3 things from all this, let it be these. Number 1, that feeling of authenticity, it's often a very deliberate, carefully manufactured strategy. Number 2, your best defense, your superpower here, is consumer literacy. It's the ability to see the strategy in action. And number 3, never, ever forget that the platform you're on is part of the message itself.
And all of this leaves us with one final, much bigger question to chew on. In a world where everyone is encouraged to become a brand, where our personal lives are curated for an audience, and where authenticity itself can be bought and sold, what does it even mean to be real anymore?